All right, so we'll get started, man. I just want to really touch base with y'all. I know it's been a minute since we've all been able to get together on this, partly due to everything I had going on, in addition to everybody's crazy schedule getting adjusted to this. So, today, what I really want to just address is more in depth about what's about to happen in the real estate market and how we can all be in position to make sure that we capitalize on it. So, from from the wholesalers to the folks that want to invest or even buy and hold, the next the next 8 months are really going to be key in everybody getting in position to be able to win really big. These opportunities only really come like once a decade. The last time was 2008. So we're that actually overdue for it by a couple of years. Um, so there's no matter what the trigger is for these events, there's always a, a a process that follows whatever causes the economic downturn that's been pretty consistent every time. And that's high unemployment, that's people losing houses, people downsizing, people having to relocate when they do get new job opportunities. So even some of the folks that may not may not lose their house to foreclosure or something, some of those houses still will be coming on the market because they will be relocating somewhere else once they get new jobs after the economy recovers. So right now, the big thing to be doing is soft marketing, especially in your warm market, which is people you already know. Start put feelers out to understand, who lost jobs, who may be concerned, who has family members that may be concerned, because those are going to be the opportunities that you can go after and actually really help people without having to spend a lot of money on marketing and advertising the people that you're going to know personally. Um, it's not going to happen right away. Right now, there's a moratorium on evictions for rent, um, which is going to help also getting investment properties from landlords, because the ones that didn't have a whole lot of savings right now, if their tenants aren't paying, they're eating that bill every month, and pretty soon they're going to run out of money. Especially the ones that did that BRRRR method way too much. I think we talked about that a while back, where y'all asked me about what I thought about it, and I said, it's okay as long as you don't over leverage, meaning don't pull all the equity out of all your properties and have all these loans, against the properties when you don't need to. Because when situations like this, that house where that mortgage payment could have been $400 or $500, now that mortgage payment is $1,000 a month, and at $1,000 a month, when that tenant's not paying, that $1,000 is now coming out of that owner's pocket, that landlord's pocket. So what's going to happen is a lot of these landlords that have positioned themselves like that are going to be some really big losers in this situation, unfortunately. And a lot of them will have to get out of those deals. So they'll either be trying to short sell some of them. They may actually be losing them to foreclosure. So there could be opportunities for subject to deals where you take over the payments from them, or you get the right to take over the payments, and you can still sell that subject to property to somebody else. And then that group, you'll probably see more of that coming online first, because they are affected right now and they are in an adverse position. The second group is going to be the actual homeowners that actually reside in homes. We won't see that hit probably until October. The reason why I say that is because right now, there's forbearance, so there's, people can defer their mortgage payments. But once those regulations are lifted, what's going to happen is um, the banks are going to start the clock again. And once that clock starts, there will be a lot of them that get on that 90-day clock, that 3-month clock, where foreclosures will be looming. So, we'll say it starts in May. Say it starts at the end of May. You got June, July, August. So by September, you're going to start seeing people on the foreclosure list. And that foreclosure process may take a month or two. It really depends on how far the bank lets them get behind. So if the bank lets them slide until the third month, then they file the foreclosure, and depending on what state they're in, that foreclosure could take up to 3 months to hit the books. So October, November is when you're really going to start seeing it. You won't see too much of it before that, except for the people that want to be proactive and know that they're about to go on a foreclosure. Those would be some folks that'll be willing. But as a lot of y'all know from dealing with sellers, a lot of them try to keep hope alive to the very last minute. So a lot of them probably won't be in a position or won't be willing to sell until you have about 2 or 3 weeks left before their house is supposed to go up for sale. So yeah, a lot of opportunity there. In addition to that, you're going to have a lot of investors or new construction people that will be sitting on inventory that they can't sell or they can't rent. So like I said, there's going to be a bunch of different plays out here right now. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to be looking to get from up under these real estate portfolios that they have. So it's a lot of opportunity there. If y'all know anybody that has money sitting on the sideline, somebody that's just in a corporate job or something like that, or maybe somebody that has had a lot of money sitting in like a retirement account in the stock market or just regular stock investments, and they've lost a lot of money, this is actually a good opportunity for them, because you can tell them you can either wait for everything to recover in your stock market portfolio. For instance, like 2008, I think my dad had like 250 grand in an account, and he didn't break even until like 2011. So it took like 3.5 years for that account to get back to where it was in 2008. Well, so a lot of them were scared. They're like, if I sell my stocks right now, I'm gonna sell at a loss. But I mean, the idea is invested in something that's gonna make you money faster so that you can get that money back. So that's a way that you can position things to be like, hey, there's real estate, your stock market may go up 8% a year, but I can help you make 15, 20% on your money every year, so you can get back up to where you were before a lot faster. So that's a good way for you to get private money without having to go to a bank or a hard money lender, to try to get some money to acquire property, or sometimes if you want to do like the wholesale deals that we talked about before, where it's actually a property that's decent enough to where you can just buy it from the owner and clean it out and then just list it on MLS without doing anything to it. For you to be able to do that process, most of the time you have to actually own the property. So that would be a way that you could do some deals like that, just by borrowing other people's money. And it'll be really short term. You tell them you're not flipping the house. Just show them what the value is based off of what the realtor comps say versus what you're buying it for. And tell them, I'll take your money, give you 15%, whatever, 10%, or even split the deal with them if you want to in those situations. And in 60 days they'll have their money back plus their profit, and and you'll have a little pot of money there. So a lot of ways to play this market right now. It's going to be a whole lot of opportunities coming up. So I'm going to open the floor up. Anybody have anything specific they want to ask or talk about?
So has lending completely dried up, or is it on the way?
A lot of lending has dried up. A lot of the hard money lenders, they've stopped. I don't know how long they're going to stop, because they know the opportunity too. 99% of hard money lenders are actually real estate investors themselves. So I think in the height of everything that's going on and the level of uncertainty, a lot of them decided just to pull out and sit on the sideline for a minute. But once everything stabilizes, I think once these stimulus checks start hitting and the new cases of COVID go down, I think they'll open their doors back. So very few of them are still lending right now. Some of the conventional banks are still lending. I just closed last week on my construction loan for my new construction. They didn't change anything. They kept the same terms and everything. So some people are still lending. I think the consumer market is what's been all over the news. That's if you're buying a house to live in and you're getting the FHA 3% down loan, that's becoming scarce right now. But as far as investors, the people that were smart, the investors that have been through these cycles before, the lenders that have been through these cycles before, some of them are still ready to go. So. Mm-hmm. Who else? Tony, you had texted me about a property, I think, today. You want to talk about that one?
Yeah, what's going on, y'all? Let me see.
What's up, Tony?
Yeah, she had sent me a property. It was a realtor I was working with, and I was telling her like to shoot me some leads if she got something that she can't really list, just how we talk to them as investors.
Uh-huh.
And she sent me one that she had said somebody was looking to move out the country.
Mm-hmm.
They were kind of, she said it was giving them a hard time as far as the price, but they got to move ASAP. So she was saying it's best to just shoot an offer to see because they got to make a move.
Okay.
She sent me two other ones that was, one of them not too far from the Liberty Square situation, and another one kind of downtown. So I thought that may be something to check into.
Yeah, downtown would be like what part? When you say downtown, is it like what side of downtown?
It was like 2 miles from Minute Maid Park.
2 miles from Minute Maid Park.
Yeah, it wasn't far at all.
2 miles. Is it the east side of downtown?
I'd have to double check to see off the top of that. I got to put the map.
All right, yeah. I'll look at it and see, because 2 miles, it could be a lot of price difference in there depending on what neighborhood it is. And they wanted like 220 for that one, right?
Right.
Is it a house or just a lot?
That one was a house. It looked like a teardown though. It looked kind of old.
Okay.
You can see in the Google image like a new construction like on the same street from it. So.
Oh, dope. Okay. So yeah, so we can look at that and see if the new construction sells for that. That probably is a play for a builder,
Right.
get in the contract and sell to a builder. Do they owe on those properties? Do you know, or is it just?
For the one that was when they're moving out the country, I think they said they have a mortgage of like $45,000. But as far as the other two I got today, she hadn't really gave me a lot of information on them. Just told me the asking price for the last two, the one that's downtown, the one that's by Liberty Square.
Okay, so it's all the same owners or different owners?
These are different owners.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
So the one that's moving out of the country, what's the numbers on that one?
For the comps, I had to run some, and she had a price range of like 135 to 150.
Okay.
I ran some numbers. I saw 145 as well.
Okay.
And like I said, they owe 45,000 left on it.
Oh, they own 45.
Yeah, they own 45.
And what do they want?
125.
Yeah, they want 125. Okay.
And I was asking would they be interested in maybe terms or like on the finance deal, but she was like they prefer cash. But she was like just go through an offer because they got to make a move soon regardless. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I would do the 3 offer scenario. Where you offer them maybe like 85 cash, or offer them the full 125 on terms, where it's like 10,000-15,000 down over 5 years or something like that. And that way, it gives us some options where they can look at an upfront number, they can look at making their money over time. I guess we have to figure out what number would make them comfortable walking away or doing a deal with the project. Like, do they want 30 grand in their pocket or what? Because you sent me pictures of it, right?
Yeah, I sent you a couple of the inside of that one.
Okay. Yeah, it didn't look bad. I mean, it looks rentable as it is. So, I mean, it could use a little upgrading if it's going to be like a flip to get top of market value. But it looks like a deal that it could be like a hotel or anything, really. So, are they're Mexican citizens or what?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Okay. All right.
She just sent me a couple of messages about it, but she didn't really deep dive.
Okay. And why didn't she want to list it? She said it was just too short of a time frame?
That could be the case, yeah.
Okay. All right.
I just told us whatever you get some, start sending it to me and I'll take a look at it. So.
Okay. No, that's a good play.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. I'll have Porsche run comps on that too, just to compare them, okay. And we'll see what we can do. Also, got the buyer pool has dried up a little bit too. So a lot of the investors that were buying, especially the ones using hard money, they don't have any resources right now to buy. So some of the deals will be a little bit harder to move unless they're going to be home runs right now. So it's definitely time to like go back and all that reading material that's in the drive. Make sure y'all get all that course that I sent y'all on short sales. Y'all definitely take time and go through that whole thing if you haven't. It's going to be really, really resourceful and really useful for you towards the end of the year. So, anybody else got anything? Who else got something to open? Miss Portia, how you doing?
I'm well. How about yourself?
I am good. I am good. So, guys, I'm gonna tell y'all about her. She actually came to the table with a pretty unique situation. Well, you want to tell them, Portia? Or you want me to do it?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I'm familiar with the lady. She has bad credit currently, and she's interested in owning a home for her family. But she has saved money up front already, so she saved about $30,000 up front. So we've kind of worked out a deal to where I'm going to basically finance the home for her. She's going to rent it for me for 4 years, giving her time to work on her credit, save up some more money, and so she can purchase the house back from me once she has kind of like established everything to put herself in a better position to own the home.
Yeah. So it's pretty unique scenario. She actually found the tenant and the buyer before she even found the house. So I'm helping her find properties. Her tenant actually has been looking at listings, and we found one that we think is going to work. So price point is good. The tenant wants to keep her payment around $1,200 a month. So with her $30,000 down, there should be a decent spread in there between the rent that she can collect and the mortgage payment that she'll be paying. So she'll be making money off of that. Yeah, and so I've connected her with my broker. He's negotiating. Have you talked to him, Portia? Jay?
Yes, he called me and I connected him to her.
Okay.
So we can get together to go view the home.
Mhm.
The property is listed as is, but I asked him to give it the seller to see if there's any wiggle room within that price as well.
Okay. Okay. That's good. That's good. So yeah, so we'll see how that works. And I'm gonna have Sylvester draw up all the documents, the title attorney that I had on here a couple weeks ago. He'll be drafting all of the legal documents for her to make sure everything's structured soundly. Where if the tenant's also going to be responsible for paying the taxes and the insurance on the property, because her end goal is really to buy it. So we're not gonna escrow all of that stuff into the mortgage payment, so that Portia is only responsible for actually making the mortgage payment itself. But the way the contract is going to be written is if that tenant defaults on the insurance and the taxes, then she kind of voids the whole agreement, and then Portia can take the property and do whatever she wants with it after that. But usually somebody who puts down a significant amount of money like that, like $30,000, will not just walk away from the property, and they'll do everything that they can to keep it. So it should be a pretty sound investment scenario for her. Anybody got any questions about how that will work?
Is that like a wraparound mortgage, or is that something different?
This is more like a lease purchase.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lease purchase where, I mean, some lease purchases, like if you go on MLS and do one, they may require like $5,000 to $10,000 down. But this is one we're just making her put even more down to make it, it secure.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Look on that.
All right. Anybody else? Wade, what you working on, man?
Man, I just pulled the list for pre-foreclosure a couple of days ago. Been touching your short sale information, so that's a big play right there. I do have a couple of close friends in the family back home that's been affected with the COVID, so I've been pacing back and forth, asking questions. Matter of fact, one of them is a neighbor of my grandmother, so right now we're just in light trades to see what the family wants to do with the house, since both spouses have passed away. So that's what I've been working on this week.
Okay.
So far.
Okay, that sounds good. You talking about that made me think about. I was talking to a guy out of San Antonio, and what he does with creative deal structure is with people who like get behind on their taxes or their mortgage payments, but they show some signs of now having employment. So say if they're behind 3 or 4 months for some unforeseen reason, but now they've got enough money to pay the payments again, but they don't have enough money to catch it up. What he does is he comes in and he'll catch the payments up for them.
Okay.
And then what he does though is he makes them sign a contract that says if they don't pay him back in, let's say, a year or two for what he's paid plus some interest, then he gets a right to say 25% of the future equity of the property. So it's not like you're really taking advantage of anyone, but the house is worth 120 now, and in 4 years the house is worth 150. That's $30,000 in profit. So now he's made $7,500 in equity in that deal, and so he'll always own that percentage. Whenever they get ready to sell, he can cash in on that, or he can force them to refinance the property. I think after like 10 years, and then he can pull his 25% of the equity out. I thought that was pretty unique. It's fair because it's people that probably lose their house otherwise. You still let them keep the majority of the equity in the house, but it's just a way for you to get a return on the money. So I thought that's pretty cool. And he does a bunch of those. So it's one of those things where, it'd have to be money that you're okay parking in something for a while.
Somebody needs some matrix.
Huh?
Yeah, I can hear you.
What's that? What happened? Uh-oh, did I lose y'all?
I'm still here. Maybe it's her phone.
Yeah, I think it's hers.
Oh, okay. All right. Let me see. Anybody else got anything? Any questions?
I got a question for you. So you say that most people are going to be kind of going through the foreclosure process kind of later towards the year. So you feel like we should still ramp up marketing right now? Do you kind of feel like kind of hold towards the year when people kind of settle down with everything?
That's a catch-22 because if you wait on marketing, well, number one, most of the people that are going to be on that list, they're not on a list yet, so you can't really find them directly, right?
Right.
But if they're already on a list, it doesn't hurt to market to them because I'm pretty sure what's going to happen is the banks are going to try to accelerate those foreclosures after this is over with. Because basically those people say they were supposed to go to sale this month in March or April. Well, since that moratorium was put on everything, now they've got an extra 2 or 3 months. So those people will probably be on the chopping block right after all this stuff clears when the courts open back up. Right. So marketing to those people still kind of makes sense. I wouldn't overspend on marketing right now because, like I said, the long lead time on some of the other stuff is going to take a while. That money may be better spent just kind of stacking it and maybe putting yourself in a position to actually take on one of the projects, versus, just marketing to be able to wholesale it to somebody else. So there's different ways to approach it. If you have the extra capital, go for it, because what's going to happen also is some of the people that do get that foreclosure later on in the year, they're going to remember the people whose marketing material stood out to them the most. It may not necessarily be the people that are marketing to them at that point. It may be somebody whose flyer that they had and they put it on the refrigerator first, or it's sitting on top of the stack over there. So yeah, it's a lot of different variables in that. I think the return on heavy marketing right now is going to be a little bit less than it would be if you waited.
Okay. Because I was thinking like making like a quick video, just reminding people that, like, for example, I buy a house and help homeowners who may be going through foreclosure, take up a payment just to put it out.
Yeah.
I was thinking
Definitely. I mean, I would definitely do that. Anything you can do that's free, anything that you can do that doesn't cost a lot, like videos, that type of stuff. Yeah, I would definitely do that. I do short little YouTube videos, put in a link and text it to people and have them share with other people, just stuff like that. Something that's free. Like I said, that goes back to what I was saying at the beginning, that warm market, people you already know. That's going to be clutch right now. That's going to put you in front of people first.
Gotcha. I was thinking just something with the iPhone real quick, nothing too major.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, something organic that doesn't feel like is produced. You know what I mean? Like it's make it feel like it's something that's organic. That'll probably go a long way right now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So So in the group, I've also been posting about the rehab that I'm doing with Terrence. So that deal was a pretty cool deal where the owner owns a bunch of property over in Fifth Ward, and he's getting off of it though. It's an old Jewish guy, he really hasn't been paying attention to what's going on over there, so he doesn't really know that he's actually letting some of that property go less than what he could. But he's only financing it to me. It's a house that we're rehabbing right now, and then the 2 vacant lots that we figured out we can build 4 more homes on those vacant lots. So the house flip, we originally started with a budget of about $67,000 to get the inside really nice and get it marketable. And once we got into the project, we realized and Terrence also decided that we wanted to make sure the outside really matched, because what we were going to do originally is just sand down the wood siding that was existing and repaint it, but we decided to just do a whole new exterior on the house too. So that added about $23,000 to the overall budget of the property. And we also added a master closet on the back, which is it's 5 by 12. So it's additional 60 square feet that's added to the house. And that's something that you'll get a return on because that's living space. So by adding that on, it actually adds more dollar per square foot to the value of the home. So we ended up, the original profit projection was about 60,000. But by adding the exterior, we lost that 23, but then we're adding back about 10. So it's a net of about a $13,000 difference that the profitability went down to a little bit over 50,000 for the project, but it makes it as marketable as possible whenever the project's done. And so those are the type of give and takes that you have. And I'm going to continue to post pictures up there so you guys can see the whole process. I mean, we took a house that was really outdated, needed a reconfiguration of a lot of the major rooms like the kitchen and the bathrooms, no central AC, and needed a lot of structural work underneath the house. So we had to put some new support beams under there to get everything level and jack the house up in different spots because it's on pier and beam. So that whole process, we're in week 4, about the 7-week project. And so it should be done early summer. And depending on where the market is, we may just lease it out for a little while instead of trying to sell it right away. But haven't really made a final decision on that yet. So what I also do is when we start doing the plans for the new construction, I'll give y'all exposure to that so y'all can kind of see what we're looking at. What we're probably going to do on one of the lots is do a duplex and then probably do some single families on the other property, the other vacant lot. So keep y'all posted on all that as well. Hopefully, I really wanted us to do a walkthrough of the property, but the social distancing stuff kind of killed that for now. But hopefully another project will come on where we can walk it from start to finish. I will be able to do that with the new construction, my new construction project on Liberty Road. We're going to start the foundation pours next week. So anybody that wants to get out there and come look at it, just let me know. I can meet you out there. Or you can feel free to pass by whenever I'm not. If you have questions, you can ask me about it. But that construction starts Monday, and we're projecting about 90 days to get that complete. So it's pretty cool. I kind of waited to start because I wanted to see what was going on with the Corona stuff, but we actually got an offer on one of them. So I should have a purchase contract on one before we even start, which is pretty cool. That's the good thing about marketing ahead of time on some of your projects. Like, don't wait till you get it done to list it, because you may find somebody has interest in it before you even get through, and your exit strategy is already set in stone. So it takes a lot of the stress off of you. It takes a lot of the worry about carrying costs for the financing, if you can already have that buyer lined up on the back end.
Hey, Chris, I got a question. So was doing some reading about the market, and basically, with people moving out of homes due to, just, hey, there's a foreclosure or whatnot, or even if they are moving to a home, they're downsizing. So now putting things into storage facilities. So one, how do you even find like a storage facility maybe for sale, or if the owner of a storage facility is even going into foreclosure? I guess, is that going into more commercial?
It is commercial, but some of them will be on those same lists. So like
Okay.
for foreclosehouston.com,
Okay.
they have everything that a bank is filing a foreclosure on will be on that list. It's gonna
Okay.
be industrial commercial property. And
Okay.
you can just filter and look for those specifically.
Right.
Yeah, so yeah, there will be some opportunity there as well. But the thing is, it's kind of an inverse correlation, right? Because you're saying all that, which
Mhm.
also means that the people that may have not had enough volume or enough units rented now probably will have more units rented. So they may
Mhm.
be a little bit less likely to sell. And the heat of this, it's kind of
Okay.
like those are the ones you got to buy when the economy's good,
Okay.
most part. But I mean, you never know. It might be somebody still ready to sell.
Okay.
It may not be the distressed seller, but it may be it may not be someone financially distressed from the number of units they have leased. It may be somebody just tired and ready to retire and get out of the
Right.
business. So yeah, so it could be opportunity there.
Right.
Also, I
Okay.
mean, you can just ride around too and talk. If you ride around and you see some of them and they look like just mom and pop ones,
Right.
usually, so a lot of people don't know this, but usually the storage business is pretty unique where it's only like one employee on the site at most times.
Okay.
And a lot of times that employee actually lives on the site. So they would build like a 1-bedroom apartment or something, let them live on there so that they don't have to pay that employee a whole lot. That it's
Okay.
offset by the housing expense. Sometimes you go there and talk to them and you'll just catch that manager, and the manager be willing to tell you more about the property, tell you
Okay.
the position of the owner. So yeah, it's a good way to get it.
Okay. So, I guess with going to, with that much capital, is that so? Like when you did your really big deal, you got funding from a lot of different sources. Is that one of those things where you kind of structure similar to that? How do you kind of approach that? Or
So every one of my big acquisitions, like every
Mhm.
one of them, from the property in Baton Rouge, the property on Liberty Road, and the property for the Buy the Block project, everything's been owner financed.
Okay.
So the terms have been different on all of them. So the Liberty Road project with new construction, I negotiated owner finance with only 10% down. Right.
Okay.
And what that does for somebody like somebody that owns the storage facility, if their only source of income is coming from that building, or maybe it's one of their main sources of income, they may be okay with not selling it all at once, because if they sell it all at once, the IRS is going to take a big portion of that money. But basically, what you're doing for them is you're converting them. You're taking them out of the position of being actively managing the business, and then now they're just getting a mortgage payment every month. So they're still getting revenue coming from the same property every month, but you're now doing all the work, right?
Okay.
So I mean, you can, and that's always the way you can pitch it to them. You can be like, look, just take this 20%, this 10% down, 15% down, and I'll start making payments to you. So you won't really be missing any money up front. And it could be short term. You can tell them, let's do this for 2 years, and in 2 years, I'll have all my accounting stuff together, and I'll be able to go to a bank and refinance it and then pay you off. But yeah, so always try to get the seller to accept a payment on terms for big projects like that, because it will be kind of hard for you to go to a bank and get funding, especially if you don't have any experience in that business, because the bank want to understand, if we give you this money, number one, are we going to get our money back, and are we going to get it back on time with the interest that we want, So, yeah.
Yes, because I was thinking about that. It's trying to find opportunities that aren't necessarily just obvious,
right?
And then also kind of like dipping the toe into the commercial,
right?
Because it seems like when I listen to people talk about commercial real estate, it's like you have to get the experience to gain a reputation for it, but then it's like, how do you get the experience without doing it?
Right. Yeah. So I mean, like I said, that's why I bought all of my stuff like that, because banks told me no 23 times for my first project, for the Liberty Road new construction project. So, and I mean, you got to understand that they're protecting their position too. You know, there's a lot of money on the line, so they definitely want to give it to people that you know, understand what they're doing. So yeah,
Right, that makes sense.
yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. So even I was talking to my wife. So wholesaling on that scale, that demographic of buyers, what does that look like? And I guess how do you go about finding those type of buyers?
Yeah, that's a great question. That is going to take a lot more networking. So
Okay.
I mean that it's going to go back to maybe you researching who owns other storage facilities in the area, and those owners may be interested in buying more. That's going to go to you like networking at real estate investor meetups to find out who's on the commercial side, who has interest in that.
Right.
I mean, and there's literally a Facebook group for everything right now. So I'm pretty sure you can go on Facebook and find one for
Yeah.
storage warehouse investors and reach out to them. And then but I mean, like, so I have some people in my network like that. So those types of deals, when you get them, you know, you could always bring them to me too, and I'll help you try to find a buyer for them. So
Okay, appreciate you.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Anybody else got questions?
I got a message Friday saying that my Dropbox was full. I was able to look at that source cell information. Did anybody else get that message saying their Dropbox was full?
Yeah,
Yeah, so I'm thinking about making a couple accounts to spread it out, or finally paying for it.
Yeah, go ahead. It's $11.99.
Oh yeah, so it is a
It's
big
worth it.
job. I mean, yeah, that's a whole course. So
It's well worth it, man. That's all I could say.
You saying the pay for the Dropbox, or you saying the course?
The Dropbox.
Okay, what's the monthly on that?
I think it's $12 a month. It's like $11.99 or something like that.
Oh, okay, that's right.
yeah, definitely.
I was like, Sean, I'm missing if you was uploading something new. I wasn't getting that to make sure.
Yeah, you definitely need it too for like you know, all your pictures and stuff for all your different properties and stuff, man.
Right.
It's always good to keep all that stuff. I mean, you've had a couple of them to come back around, you know. It would suck if you had lost all the pictures and had to start over, you know.
Right. I'm going to upgrade it then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good in business investment. You can write that off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a question about this. I know what everybody doing, like the social distancing. You got any suggestions about like just closing deals virtually?
Man, I mean, the best thing right now is going to be the mobile notaries. You know, that's really now Sylvester with my title company, they do have something new where you can do a digital closing where they can notarize things via video conference. I think it's like $175 for closing, but that is something that actually came online like in November, December last year. So that's become really convenient now. So you don't have to send anybody out to the house at all.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's probably the best thing.
I know one thing that I was looking at, and I got this idea from the short sale class that you gave to us. So just to reach out to people that we know and use them as bird dogs and just post like our marketing on their vehicles, of course with their agreements, and bring in deals that way.
Oh, like yeah, people just riding around neighborhoods or people that already know neighborhoods, just have them send you leads.
Yeah, so I've been like reaching out to like my coworkers or people that I know, and just seeing if they'd be okay with just posting some stuff on their vehicle and of course receive some percentage of closing that I make from the deal.
Oh, that's dope. You said put stuff on their vehicles, like putting like signs?
Yeah, just like I went and got some like bumper sticker magnets.
Okay.
So reach out to all my coworkers and say, hey, you know, I'm doing real estate, so if you don't mind, you can just get paid to drive around, just post it on your vehicle and everything. If you get a deal from your vehicle, I'll give you some of the profit that I make from that deal.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah.
And I got that from the short sale.
Oh, from the short sale course, yeah.
Yeah.
See value.
I got about 5 people already agreed, so I'm gonna get that going this week.
Yeah. That's dope. Yeah, the guy that gave me that course, man, he said he sells them. I mean, on sale $750, but regular price like $1,500. So yeah, I got
Oh,
it.
yeah, cool. A lot of good information in that too, man. So I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. All right.
What else? I had one other deal that I think I talked to you about it before. The lady who her husband had passed away. Of course, she needed a
The
little bit.
ranch.
No, not the ranch. I've been communicating with her as well, just trying to keep it forward and still working on that. But the other property that I had, it was in. I'm not familiar with that area, but can't even tell you what exactly it is right now. But she came around. Of course, she needs some time to grieve over her husband.
Oh, I remember the one you're talking about. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But now she's coming to terms, like really trying to give her the property because she knew that's what he wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
She got a tenant in there, and she kind of want to go about selling property without alarming the tenant, or like maybe he's like a bad tenant, but she want to sell it without him knowing.
Okay.
So I told her she could just maybe either get him, or she can go over and just take pictures of the property and send them to him. We can go from there.
Okay.
But she don't want to like raise any questions with him with me going over there and taking pictures and
right.
Just alarming the tenant. So trying to find the best way to go about furthering that process without alarming the tenant.
Okay. I mean, you could run it that way, or you could tell her to I mean, she has the right to go in there and do inspections periodically. So she can say that her son or somebody in the family wants to go look at the property, just to make sure everything's on the up and up, since they're going to be managing it for her going forward. Yeah, I think you can try that. If the guy's cool with taking pictures, you can definitely do that as a start. But the only thing about when you let them take pictures, like if they fuck something up, they're gonna intentionally not want to take pictures of it.
Oh, okay, yeah, right.
Yeah. So.
Probably hide stuff and not put stuff in the pictures. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, or maybe she can get inside and take pictures. I mean,
That's what I suggest. I told her maybe she got a better relationship with him. She can just stop by and just take pictures if she can. But
yeah. I mean, or she can just say she's keeping it in the family. Maybe her son, like I said, one of her kids or somebody is going to take over it, and she wants to look at it to see what she's giving them. I think try one of those angles first if she's worried about scaring them.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Appreciate that, man.
No problem. All right. Man, I can't wait till this social distancing stuff is over, bro. Thinking out loud. Yeah, because I got a lot of things I would like to show y'all, man, but it's it's tough. It's tough right now. Maybe I should do like a virtual tour or a video conference while I'm actually at the property, and I can show y'all stuff that way. That may work. The REI Sift guy. Man, everybody's been playing phone tag. He's been really busy. I've been really busy, but I want to get him on here because there's like 6 or 7 other big investors across the country that said they were using his service and they were getting a lot of good leads off of it. So I'm gonna still continue to work on him, see if I can get him on board to come in and do a demonstration for y'all, like an hour long or something. So just something else to have in your tool belt if you need another resource to find leads. Or it might have a free trial if you want to go in there and just try it out. It's in the group me chat. So
yeah, I think it's 2 weeks free.
2 weeks free. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Darlene, whatever happened with that deal you had with the lady? Was it her and her mom?
Yeah, it's her and her mom.
Mm-hmm.
The last communication that I had with them, she went up $100,000.
She went up $100,000.
She went up $100,000, and so I said, well, the last time that I spoke to that we spoke, you said 700,000. You went up 100,000. What's going on with that? So I've come to the conclusion that they can afford to keep the property, and when she gets tired of it, she's gonna sell it.
Yeah.
Because this is like the second time that she's allowed the taxes to get up to like $45,000, and then she pay it off.
And pay it off. Wow.
And pay it off. So she can afford to do that until she just doesn't want to do it anymore. So
yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I got you. No distress in that situation, really.
At all.
No motivation. All right, cool. All right, guys. Well, if nobody else has anything, we'll hop off. Y'all know how to find me if you need me. Anybody else got any questions? Nope.
Nah, I'm good, bro. Just let me know about those numbers with Porsche. So I can
I'll get those over to you. I'll try to get them to you tonight.
All right, cool. Appreciate
Don't
it.
forget to add me
I
to the
appreciate y'all.
Okay,
Y'all take care.
no problem.
All
Portia,
right, be
anything?
careful.
group. I said don't forget to add me to the group me.
Oh yeah, I'll send you the link to join it right now.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right, no problem.
Bye bye.